Hey there, I am doing this week's video about just quitting. If you just are quitting drugs, alcohol, a relationship that was bad for you, you've made up your mind that you're not going to be codependent with your child, you're not going to eat the way you have been eating, those are all things you're quitting. I'm going to quit doing this. I'm going to quit trusting my own resources. I'm going to quit depending on how I think and feel. I mean, there's all kinds of things God requires us to quit doing. And so as you're beginning to quit that, there's things that, aren't so hard, aren't so easy, and they take a little bit of work. But I think that something that's interesting to me about the Bible, because there's lots of things in the Bible that have to do with these rituals. You go to the temple and you have to go before the high priest, and there's this many colors that, and there's that you can't do, and there's this has to have gold, and this has to have silver, and you're like, really? Is all this necessary? And before Jesus, in order for us to be able to get in touch with God, it was necessary. But I think it says something to us about who God is. God likes ritual. He likes us to habitually discipline ourselves to do something for a certain reason. And that is a ritual. And so I think that when it comes to drugs and alcohol or eating or smoking or whatever it is that you're trying to kick to the curb, there's a ritual about it. There's a time and a place. You get in your car, you light a cigarette. You have a drink of tea or whatever it is, and you light a cigarette. Or you get angry and frustrated, so you open the refrigerator. You are disappointed and distracted from what you're supposed to be doing, and so you find somebody else to blame it on. Whatever it is, your habit that you're trying to get away from that is not pleasing to God, and so you're going to try to discipline yourself to do something different, there's a ritual to it. There is. So take the time to notice what that ritual is. And then when you see it start happening, you have to implement a new ritual. It works. It really works. I know this because I had to do this. I stopped smoking cigarettes. I quit drinking alcohol. I quit doing drugs. I quit hanging around with the people who were giving me attention all the time. And there was a million things I quit ducking and dodging the police. There's a certain thrill to being able to get away with stuff. All those things are addictions. So I had to find different rituals. So I picked the craziest things I could think of, like singing and dancing and spinning and screaming. And luckily I live down here where I'm under the house to some degree. My apartment is built like underneath a porch, and I have the lake over here, and so there's nobody coming to my door. It's, a good place to scream and yell. But who cares where you have to do whatever your new ritual is? Care enough about getting free from what you're trying to get free from to do that ritual, to implement a new ritual. So when I felt like getting high, I would start dancing and going, I am not getting high. I am not getting high. I am not getting high. I'm not getting high. I'm not getting high. And I would dance around and scream around, and I'm telling you, act like a complete idiot. Look, I acted like an idiot trying to get drugs, going to jail, arguing with people, stealing stuff. I was willing to do all that to get high. What am I willing to do to not get high? I don't like the way I look in my clothes. What am I willing to do to not eat that food? Maybe it's my shopping needs to have a different ritual, that I write down only what I want, what I need, that I'm not going to look at what's on sale, that I'm going to only go down certain aisles, that I won't do, there's just rituals. And if you got to start at the opposite end of the grocery store just to prove you're doing things differently to yourself, then do that. Ask God to help you come up with a system that will help you think differently, because that's what it's about. No matter how hard the struggle is, how difficult it is, what it requires of you, you've got to be willing to do the work to implement a new ritual to be free. And freedom is where it's at, man. Everything positive and encouraging and hopeful in life happens in freedom. And a lot of times that's finding our way to struggle out of what we're in into freedom, and that's okay. Go for it. Do the struggle thing. It ain't all easy, but just fight for the freedom that you have, that God died to give you, that you have been awarded, but you have to take hold of. You got to do the work for it. You can be free. The question is, will you be? Will you do what it takes to be free? Don't just quit. Quit in victory. Okay? I love you guys.